Welcome back to SST8's series on co-teaching. This webinar is the How of Co-Teaching, Session 3, Step 4. This co-teaching webinar series is designed to be viewed in order, and the skills, knowledge, and team activities were scaffolded to build and strengthen your partnership. If you have not yet watched our webinars titled The Why Behind Co-Teaching, The What of Co-Teaching, and the How of Co-Teaching, Session 3, Steps 1, 2, and 3, please find, view, and complete the activities associated with those webinars first, and then come back and join us for this webinar in the series.
The intent of these webinars is for co-teaching teams to collaboratively view and discuss this content while providing flexibility in meeting their professional development needs. For example, teams may choose to chunk the content and break it up over multiple days, or may wish to use it as part of a professional development day.
To support your learning during this session, you can access the accompanying bit.ly link to follow along in the slide deck with live links to use throughout the training.
This webinar builds upon the importance of the co-teaching team creating a relationship based upon mutual respect, trust, and communication. So, grab your co-teacher and let's get started. In the previous session, we focused upon strengthening the co-teaching team through determining roles and responsibilities to be assumed by members of the team, both individually and collectively. By engaging in this practice on a yearly basis, co-teaching teams update who does what to make the co-teaching experience efficient and effective. We maintain that having these discussions and engaging in such activities is critical to team development in order to co-plan, co-instruct, and co-assess all learners in an equitable and effective way. Take a moment and read the learning targets to gain clarity around what you can expect to experience and learn throughout the rest of this session. Pause the webinar if needed.
This graphic represents the structure of the SST8 Co-Teaching Training Series. If you are watching this session, this means you have reached the final webinar in Tier 2, Establishing and Designing the Co-Teaching Experience. You have continued to build your co-teaching relationship, and during this session, will reflect upon your responses to the tabs in the Co-Teaching Team Development Inventory tool to inform your team's next step, collaborating and engaging in goal setting and taking action for the team. Your sandwich is almost ready for the menu.
Food for thought. Setting goals is instrumental in team development. The more precise your goals are, the greater the success in accomplishing them. Take a moment and watch this brief video to learn about or refresh your knowledge about setting SMART goals. When done, resume the webinar.
How to write SMART goals. Everyone needs a goal, whether it's in a business context or for personal development. Having goals help you strive towards something you want to accomplish. It prevents you from wandering around aimlessly without a purpose. If you want to ensure you'll achieve your goals, learn in this video how to write SMART goals. What are SMART goals? SMART is an acronym that stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. Writing your goals following a SMART goals template provides you with a clearer focus. It communicates what the goal needs to achieve without any fuss. With a clear aim, it can give you a better idea of what success is supposed to look like. It also makes it easier to monitor progress, so you're aware whether or not you're on the right path. It can also make it easier to identify bottlenecks or missed targets while you're delivering the goal. This gives you enough time to rectify any problems so you can get back on track. So, how do you write a SMART goal? First and foremost, your goal has to be specific. Be as clear and concise as possible, because whether it's your team or yourself, Whoever has to carry out the objective needs to be able to determine exactly what it is they are required to do. To ensure your goal is as specific as it can be, consider the 5 W's. Who is involved in executing this goal? What exactly do I want to accomplish? Where will it happen if there's a fixed location? When should it be done by? Why do I want to achieve this? Secondly, ensure it is measurable. Adding numbers to a goal can help you or your team weigh up whether or not expectations were met and the outcome was triumphant. For example, go to the gym twice a week for the next 6 months is a stronger goal to strive for than simply go to the gym more often. Setting milestones throughout your process can also help you to reassess progress as you go along. The next important thing to keep in mind is to ensure your goal is attainable. It's great to have big dreams, but you want your goals to be within the realms of possibility so that you have a higher chance of actually accomplishing them. But that doesn't mean your goal shouldn't be challenging. You want your goal to be achievable while at the same time test your skills. Next, your goal has to be relevant. It has to align with business objectives or with your personal aspirations, or else what's the point of doing it? A SMART goal needs to be applicable and important to you, your team, or your overall business agenda. It needs to be able to steer you forward and motivate you to achieve it, which it can if it holds purpose to something you believe in. The last factor of the SMART Goals template is time-bound, also known as timely. Your goal needs a deadline because without one, it's less likely to be accomplished. A deadline provides a sense of urgency that can motivate you or your team to strive towards the end. The amount of time you allocate should be realistic. Don't give yourself or your team only 1 week if it takes 3 weeks to actually complete it. You want to set a challenge, but you don't want to risk overstress.
Now it's your turn to make things happen. You and your co-teaching partner will take time to revisit the co-teaching inventory tool to create your SMART goal for your classroom. Sharing a common goal will focus your team's efforts toward refining practices in one co-teaching component. Doing so will not only strengthen your relationship as co-teachers, but will enhance the experience for all learners. The following slides will get you started.
Open your copy of the Team Inventory tool. Click on the Step 4 Goal Setting tab circled here in red on this slide. Pause the video to do this and begin again when both co-teachers have access to the Open Step 4 tab. Remember, both teachers will continue to work in the same document. The Goal Setting tab is to be completed by both the general educator and specialist working in the same sheet. Revisit your perceptions of your co-teaching team's current stage of development in each of the 8 co-teaching components. Look back at your interview questions and come to consensus to choose a component to refine. For your convenience, your team inventory responses completed in Step 1 are reflected in this Goal Setting tab.
For example, our SMART goal focuses on interpersonal communication. It states, beginning today through the remainder of the year, we will both engage in at least one classroom activity or discussion per week with our students regarding how we communicate with both one another and with them to capture their thoughts and feelings regarding our classroom climate. Using the co-teaching inventory tool, we documented the goal in the team goal and intended outcomes column. Next, we determined the action steps we would take before and after viewing the deeper dive webinars and documented those steps in the team action steps column. We then completed the timeline column to determine how long the action steps will take to complete. Next, we considered the resources needed to complete the action steps and documented them in the resources column. We may find we need more resources as we begin implementing. The next column, the administrative resources needed column, is where we documented any administrative supports needed to complete the action steps. At this point, we were able to complete nearly all the columns in the Goal Setting tab, but then we came to the Implement, Plan, and Monitor Progress column and had to stop. We were having trouble determining how we could collect, chart, and analyze data regarding adult practices and the impact on student outcomes because our goal didn't clearly state the why. We had to then revisit the goal and figure out what was missing. We learned creating a SMART goal takes time. It needs to be just right.
We really thought we had written a very clear and precise SMART goal. Then, when we considered how we were going to implement and monitor progress for the goal, we discovered we didn't have the why of what we wanted to happen. The relevancy of the SMART goal was not clear. We then took another look at our goal to see if all the SMART goal ingredients were present, and then made the necessary adjustments. It was important to add the relevance so we could have a firm understanding of what success would look like. We invite you to pause this webinar to determine your SMART goal and complete the column of the Step 4 Goal Setting tab. Feel free to scroll back to earlier in this video to revisit our example.
Taking the time to set goals is yet another critical piece to a successful co-taught classroom. Having goals provides motivation and direction as the co-teaching team continuously learns and grows.
Your signature sandwich is ready for the menu, but even the best recipes often need adjustments to satisfy various needs and tastes. You may choose to enhance your understanding and professional practice by taking a deeper dive into the 8 components of co-teaching. Remember, these components are the ingredients that complement and complete the co-taught classroom, and how you build your sandwich will enhance the experience for the adults and each learner. As your team co-teaching practices continue to develop, so will your effectiveness in meeting the needs of each learner.
Please join us for our deeper dive webinars into the 8 components of co-teaching. Until next time, be assured that truly collaborative partnerships take time and effort to develop. A great sandwich is worth the wait.